In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to write Practice Essay 1. So for Practice Essay 1, you're being asked to evaluate a movie, entertainer, song, or television series. So when you're being asked to evaluate, you're essentially being asked to give a judgment of whether you think this movie is good or bad. You're not being asked to summarize. So this paper should not be a summary of the plot of a movie or of a television show or anything like that. You're here to give reasons for why you think each one of these is either good or bad, and you'll select one of them. Throughout this video, I'm going to choose a television series and just talk about that so I don't have to keep saying all four of these at once. All right, so for more information on the prompt, you can go to page 7 in the syllabus. All right, to brainstorm, you need to decide if you want to choose between a movie, celebrity, song title, or television series. And going through this exercise can help you decide which one to pick, or if you already immediately know what you want to do, still complete this statement because it'll help prepare you for where I'll take you next. So the templates are I like, dislike, movie title because of blank, and you should choose whether to say you like it. So maybe I would say I like the movie Lord of the Rings because of the action in it, or I dislike the movie Ad Astra because it essentially has no plot. So complete it like that. So celebrity name should be considered the best or worst entertainer ever because of blank. Your song title should be considered the best, worst ever because of blank. And then lastly, I like, dislike the television show because of blank. So pause the video, decide what you want to write on, and then come back. So now that you've decided the topic for your paper, either your movie, celebrity, song, or television show, the next thing you need to do is establish the criteria by which you are judging this topic as either good or bad. And the reason you need to establish your criteria with your reader and in your essay is because it's not universal what makes a good television show or what makes a bad television show. That's subjective. So what can make a show good to one person might be what makes it bad to another. So you have to kind of tell your reader why, what criteria you're using so they know how you are judging this television show. So examples of criteria could be like plot, what happens in the movie or show, maybe the characters of the show or the personality of the entertainer, maybe how believable is the show or authentic. Like for a celebrity, do you believe their emotion, or do you believe how the acting in the TV show, or is the overall plot believable, or is the reality television believable or not? So quality of production. This could be how well the movie is shot, like the scenes or the sound production of the song, all of the things that go into the craft of producing the movie, song, television show, etc. Then lastly, meaning or message. Do you approve of what's being conveyed through the song or maybe the movie? So these are just ideas. You may come up with your own criteria, but these are just to get you started. So the template you should fill out for this slide to help you is this. I believe, use the title or the celebrity's name, is good, bad because of 1, 2, 3. So for example, I might say, I believe the television show Lost is bad because the plot made no sense, the acting was sometimes overdone, and the show went on for way too many seasons. So those might be my 3 reasons for saying Lost was a bad television show. So in your paper, you know that you have to have 3 parts: an introduction paragraph, body paragraphs, and conclusion. So for the introduction, you need to use one of the approaches outlined in Chapter 6 in our textbook, and you must have a complete or, a simple or complex thesis and a plan of development. You also, in your introduction, might want to consider giving a bit of a summary or some context for the topic you've chosen. So maybe explain who the celebrity is, or what is the movie about, or the television show about. Then in the body of your paper, you're going to be basically explaining those 3 reasons that you just wrote about. So each reason that you gave will be a paragraph in the body of your paper. Okay, and within those paragraphs and between them, you need to make sure that you have transitions to connect your ideas together. And then lastly, in the conclusion, make sure to restate your thesis, summarize the main points of your paper, and maybe restate why are you telling the reader this. So in my paper for Lost, I would be telling them why I think Lost was a show that didn't deserve the popularity that it got in the early 2000s, that it's a bad show. All right, so if you need some additional pointers for any of these parts, you can check the debatable thesis video for the introduction, maybe the meal plan for the body of your paper, and then how to write a conclusion for the conclusion. Those are all available under the writing process page. So one important part of this paper is going to be in your body paragraphs and your ability to create detail in your writing. And the reason this is important is because you need to assume that your audience is not familiar with the movie you're describing, or they've never heard the song, or they don't know much about the entertainer. So you're going to have to write in a way that paints a picture for them, okay? So some questions that can help you paint that picture are, what does blank physically look like? Maybe what does the movie look like? What's happening? What does the entertainer physically look like? What action is taking place? So for a movie, a TV show, that could be plot. What is being said or heard? That could be easily applied to a song or a movie. What emotions or thoughts are being evoked? So to kind of bring home this illustration, I want you to look at this image and consider that you need to tell a friend on the phone about this image, and you can't cheat by texting it to them and showing them the image. You have to use your words to describe it. So you could consider the questions like, what is physically being described in the picture? So I might say, there's a picture of kind of a sunset with the silhouette of a guy kind of jumping off a cliff or over some land, maybe a little bit of a city there, and you just see his outline against the blue sky with the sunset kind of beneath his feet. All right, so those are all words I'm using to describe what is physically present in the picture. What is happening in the picture? So when I said jumping, all right, the silhouette of him, he's kind of jumping. It's almost like a running jump. He's got one leg in front of the other. He's kind of looking down like he was taking a big leap. Okay, so I'm conveying the action of what was happening. What do I think or feel about the picture? Well, it gives me a sense that this guy's kind of daring. He's looking down. He's in a big leap, and we can't see the ground beneath his feet, really. We don't know where he's going to land. So there's this sense of uncertainty in the picture as well. All right, so that's how you can create description in your paper, and that's going to be important because for each of these 3 points, you're going to need to pull on some aspect of maybe, say, the television show and describe it. Maybe for point 1, you'll have to describe the plot, so what's happening a little bit, or the characters. Who are they? How do they act? What do they look like? So consider adding descriptions to where someone who's never seen the show or heard the song can picture what it is you're talking about. All right, lastly, I want to talk about the abstract. So abstracts are more commonly found in research writing, but I want you to start practice writing them with this essay. So an abstract is a short summary of what your paper will be about. It's kind of like the movie trailer version of your paper. So here's a template to kind of help you get started. It says the purpose of this paper is to show that blank. This will be done through, you should list out the main ideas of your paper, and then it is hoped that this information will blank. Okay, so your abstract is not the summary. It is different. It's kind of more like a shortened and condensed introduction of your paper. So sorry, your abstract's not like the introduction of your paper. I know I misspoke earlier. So if you need to see an example of one, you can go to the OWL Purdue website. There's also, and the formatting of that, you can go to exercise 2, week 2 to look at that formatting. All right, so this gives you a brief example. So you have the title abstract. There's no indent at the beginning of the paper. All right, and the abstract goes right after the title page and before the introduction. So the abstract also gets its own page. So the introduction will start on page 3 of your document, and then the rest of your paper follows normally. So lastly, just to finish up, make sure you read through your paper and add in transition words between your paragraphs and within the points of your paragraphs. So you can find transition words in our textbook. You can also use the template for introducing and explaining examples under the writing process page under Produce. Make sure to review your APA formatting and make sure to also include a citation for your source that you're referring to in your references page, even if you're not directly quoting words or anything from the source. So how you can find the reference page citation is if you go to the Purdue online writing lab, if you just Google OWL at Purdue, .purdue.edu. Then if you look on the left-hand side, go to APA style, then click on formatting and style guidelines. And if you scroll all the way down to where it says audiovisual media, you will find how to cite a film. Scroll down a little bit, you'll find how to do a television series. And then you'll even find how to do a single song or a track for your paper here. And if you're just doing a celebrity entertainer, you may not necessarily have any citations in your paper. All right, so lastly, make sure to proofread your paper for spelling, punctuation, and grammar mistakes, and you can watch the proofreading strategies videos for more details on how to do that. And then lastly, to show that you watched this video, email me or text me the code word TACO.